Work it out, work it out, work it out, work it out now. And it's good to going down. It's the daily go, yo. It's the daily go get up is the show. You think it ain't when it is? What? You think it won't when it whiz? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing. Left lane taking off, no coasting. Word up, y'all. It's the daily go get up business show. And we are in your area, all up in your area. It's gonna be y'all right, and you know it's gonna be y'all right. Think it won't, So let's rock, y'all. The Daily Go Get a Business Show, y'all. Let's kick it. And today, on this Saturday morning, on this 25th of Leo season, July that is, we are talking about the streets. What happened? The streets, the job, the family, or the grave. What we doing here? What we doing? Why that cut off? Let me see. Hold on. G on the DG show. Let me try to figure out why. Hold on. Let me see. What's good, y'all. Let me see what's good. For some reason the audio just cut out. Well, let me see what it is. Don't panic. It's gonna be all right.
Start your show now. Press 1 to hear important.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay. Now I have nothing. I have no explanation. T. Carey Wright is all up in the house. Good to see you this morning. Yo, stretch up a morning yawning. Always good to see your face. All up in the place in Carol Chamberlain. My favorita is no trace of a bad time when I see you. It's good to see you right now, no doubt. What's up, y'all? It's the Daily Go Get a Business Show, y'all. We are in motion and everything's going to be all right. And we are talking about the streets, the job, the family, or the grave. We're going to talk about what happens when inmates come home and what their options are. You understand what I'm talking about? We're going to talk about people who just coming home from jail this morning, y'all. We're going to talk about what happens when people coming home from jail. You know, a lot of options are limited for inmates when they come home, and they might be trying to straighten their lives up. And they may find some real challenges as far as getting back on their feet. And that's taken into consideration that they were ever on their feet in the first place. Do you underdig? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you feel me? Yeah. And that's how it's going down that way. Yes. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning, y'all. Yeah. The streets, the job, the family, or the grave. And we're going to break those down one by one, baby. It's the daily go get up Mism show. It's good to see y'all coming through, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Everything's gonna be all right. Make sure you hit the like button. Everything is gonna be all good. So yeah. So the struggles of a man coming home from jail, trying to find a decent job, trying to escape the cycle of chaos that may have landed him in jail in the first place. But what happens when that's all they know? What happens when that's all they know? Yo. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily. The daily go get a business show. We do this every single day. It rains. And the DG will do the same. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the. Well, then you just say Omar with the R. It's the Daily Go Get a Business Show all up in your area, and we are in motion, full and total effect and control. Yeah. So we're talking about a little bit of the challenges that people have, men have in particular, when they come home from jail. They just got released. They out on parole. They got the ankle monitor on. They staying in the halfway house. They up in the crib. They trying to find a better way to live. A lot of cats, when they come home from jail, they're really ready to start all over and do the right thing. Not all of them, not all of them now, not all of them, but a lot of them really are trying to get it popping. They're trying to, straighten their lives out, straighten their lives up, do the right thing, be all they can. It doesn't always work out that way because there's certain things that they need to learn, and certain things that may be blocking them from being a better man, being a better father, being a better citizen, being a better neighbor, being a better son, being a better husband. So when I thought about this show, and the reason that I called it The Streets, The Job, The Family, or The Grave, I could have just left it. I could have left the grave off, or I could have put the grave where I put the family. Now, when a lot of cats come home from jail, a lot of cats are ready to get themselves together. Okay, let's break it down. Let's break it down, and then let's break it down. What's going on? Emily Dunlap in the house. I said it, Emily. And my brother Ansel Jones is all up in the house. What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? Let's talk about what these inmates go through when they come home. First of all, there's a whole process. There's a whole process that you have to go through in order to come home on parole. People think that people just come home on parole like it's sweet like that. Like you reach your eligibility for parole status and then you just get out. It doesn't work that way. In the state of Pennsylvania, the judge must impose a minimum and a maximum sentence. A minimum and a maximum sentence when anybody is convicted of a crime. So you have to give them a minimum sentence. Like, in other words, you're going to serve at least this much time before you are eligible for parole. If you do, you will. Oh. Can y'all hear me? Are we all right? Are we good? All right. Hopefully we okay. I know on the blog talk side, we a little bit messed up. Hold on, son. Hold on. So like I said, the maximum sentence is what you will serve if you do not fulfill the eligibility requirements of being released early.
So show now, press 1 to hear important instructions.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
I don't know, blog talk, what we have to go through this like once a month, y'all. Anyway, so at the minimum sentence, an inmate, a convicted inmate, is eligible to be able to go home on parole. So let's say you received a sentence of 2 to 4 years, 2 to 4. So at the end of 2 years, which you will absolutely serve, but there are instances where you can actually be released before you even serve your minimum sentence. After 2 years, for example, you will stand before the parole board and they will evaluate you to see if you are eligible or if you are appropriate to be reintegrated into society. And by reintegrated into society, they mean that you do not pose a danger to other law-abiding, tax-paying citizens out there that are home. They have to make sure that you are sometimes remorseful for what you've done, that you have not committed any new crimes that made you eligible for longer sentences while you were in jail. They check your behavior to make sure that, all right, you see the wrong that you have done and you have paid your debt to society enough to be able to go home. But when you go home, you still are under restrictions of probation and parole. In other words, you are still under the supervision of a parole agent, which means you cannot do certain things that you were not able to do while you were in jail. So you are free out there in the world, but you still cannot drink and you have to submit to random drug testing. So they can, anytime your PO feels like it, he can haul your ass into the parole office and give you a urine test to determine whether you have been getting high or not. So no drugs, no alcohol, no drugs, no illegal drug use. You often have to find a job because you have to pay for your parole. Parole ain't free. Somebody has to pay that parole agent. They make you believe that it's you who has to pay it. Actually, the tax-paying citizens are the ones paying him, but they make you pay. You. So, in order to pay it, of course, you have to have a job. And they make sure that you have a job because it's like, wait a minute. If you go home and you at home, if you're released from prison and you go home and you don't have a job, how are you going to be a productive citizen? How are you going to feed yourself and your family? No, we're not releasing you at home so you can go and mooch off of your baby mom or your wife or your family, or so you can hit the streets and start making that shit, making the same money in the same ways that got your ass locked up in the first place. So we're not having that. I'm sorry, they're not having that. So they want you to have a verifiable income job, pay stub, check stub. So no, you ain't working for Mr. Wong around the corner at the Chinese store under the table. No, none of that. You ain't working for your cousin talking about you do construction. Where's your, oh yeah, they're a construction company? Then they should have then they should be legit. Don't they pay taxes? What kind of company is this? Bring us home, bring to the parole office some letterhead and a check stub. You have to have verifiable income. The city and state will not condone. What the hell is going on here? Will not condone working under the table. Now that can get a little dicey because what if you get a job as an independent contractor? You have to make sure that that is a job that you are eligible for. And freedom to travel. You may have restrictions on your parole that do not permit you to leave the state without permission. So let's say you come home and you are a comedian or a musician. Wait a minute, that might not be okay with your parole agent. Might not be okay. So if you're a performer, that means that you're going to be in clubs and bars and places like that where there's drinking and smoking and potential drugs and prostitution. That may be the lure that may lure you back into criminal activity. So you need to check with your parole agent to make sure that that's okay. There's a good chance that it might not be okay. Damn, man. This is crazy. There's a good chance that that might not be okay. So, but let's say you are an independent contractor like a salesman. You're an independent contractor like a salesman. So let's say you sell may or may not be eligible for parole or to have those types of jobs. You may or may not have those types of jobs. You know? If you're going to be you want to be a car salesman. Let's say you want to flip to be able to buy a bunch of cars. Well, maybe your uncle. I'm saying all of this so y'all understand what inmates go through when they come home from jail. Such and such, got released. They came thing that happens with inmates. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the baby, and make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. If y'all haven't subscribed, you share or the grade. A lot of times, an inmate will be related. If you sold drugs to make a living, happen if that wouldn't happen if such and such wouldn't have told on me, if I would have just paid my child support and the blah blah, if I hadn't been blah blah blah, if I'd have been a little smarter, I'd have blah blah blah. You know, all of those things can send you right back to the street. Be that you can't find any employment because you know the time working in the kitchen, but maybe you don't want to work in no goddamn kitchen. Maybe you was used to having money. So you ain't trying to work for no, like, hourly wage for you is ridiculous. But you have to do what you have to do in order to get out of this jam. You know, you gotta go ahead and fulfill these requirements for parole. And if you can't do it, you might say, well, fuck it, man. You know what I mean? You might just say, fuck it. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna beat the block for a little while because I know how to do this. You might say, well, I'm gonna just take chances. I ain't gonna do this no long time, but I gotta get this money right. I got multiple baby moms or whatever. I gotta get back out here in these streets. So I'm gonna go ahead, flip this pack, get this work on consignment from my man, blah 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 blah. I make a move here, I make a move there. I call my old, I get with my old connect. He owes me a favor.
We are reconnecting you now.
I get with my old connect. He owes me a favor. I'm gonna go ahead and cash in on that favor. Such and such told me when I come home, if I need him, then he'll be there. Well, I gotta, I hate to call on him, but I gotta do it. He offered, he put it out there. I'm gonna have to utilize his services. You back out there on the streets. And that's if drug selling was your thing. It might have been sticking up people. It might have been robbing houses, burglarizing things. It might have been being in the chop shop, stealing cars and flipping them and, reselling them, things like that. Whatever it is, you back out there on the streets. You back out there on the streets. And that's where all your troubles began. And you're right back in the thick of it. So that's what I mean when I say the streets part of it. The other part is the job. You come home, whether you on parole or not, you need a job. A job should be able to help you, feed yourself, clothe yourself. If you can get a decent job, you'll be all right. Emily says, my cousin was lucky. They were able to get jobs and stay out of trouble. That's good. And another big part of staying out of trouble is not wanting to get back in trouble. A lot of times these young cats come home from jail and they really think that they only made a little bit of mistake, made a little mistake that got them in jail. And they figure all they have to do is not do what they did before and they'll be all right. They would have never got caught if it wasn't for this or that. So they wind up being right where they started from. And that's the disheartening part. So, they need mentoring. They need counseling. They need tutoring. Who knows? One of the things that may have gotten them in jail, well, one of the things that may have landed them in jail is the fact that they're in school and they didn't know how to read and write too well, but they bag up some weed or some heroin, whatever. And so getting a job is essential, but they also need, when you've been out on the streets getting money, surviving that way, and if you were doing well, it's not easy to take this job, take these jobs making minimum wage, working at fast food, being a stock boy, working at the market, working in a warehouse, whatever. Working for $10, $12 an hour. It's hard. It's hard for somebody that was making real money. You might have been riding around in something nice, sitting on something nice, candy painted, rimmed up, tinted. And now you barely making it out here. You just trying to keep your head above water. It's hard. Charlene Curry. Charlene Curry. What's going on, Charlene? How you feel, Charlene? It's good to see me some you. Thanks for coming on through. Glad to see you right now. And you know it's true. Word up. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Hit the like button. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And make sure that you share the show if you haven't shared the show. Don't keep the show all to yourself. Don't do that. Ansel Jones says, when I came back from Iraq for 1 year, the military gave me 2 weeks free vacation to recover from being away from a normal life. I see what you're saying. And that's, you know, when you talk about coming home from Iraq or Afghanistan, you're talking about a lot of PTSD. Even if you don't suffer from clinical PTSD, you still suffer from PTSD because you can't unsee what you saw. You can't unhear what you heard. You can't unknow what you know or what you learned. You see your man get blown up. Your comrades get blown up. Insurgents, rebels, the enemy, regardless of what you call them or what you think about them personally or as a people, they are your enemy. They shooting at you while you have the job of shooting at them. Politics aside, your job was to go in, eliminate the enemy, and bring your ass home. Your job to your country, to the government, is to go in there and shoot and kill. That's your job. Cut and dry. That's it. That's your job. Your job to your community, to your family, to your loved ones is to make it back home. So you can't do that. You can't do that with a clear mind and without having to send somebody to the pearly gates. It's hard to do that. So coming home, it's really a slap in the face when military vets can't find jobs coming home. That's a slap in the face. It really is. Vets and inmates that same problem of finding jobs, but they have trouble finding jobs for different reasons. They have problems or have troubles or difficulties finding jobs for totally different reasons. But shout out to all the military personnel that are coming home trying to get themselves together. Because like I said, you can't unsee what you saw, unhear what you heard, unknow what you learned. So yeah. So that's the streets part of it. I mean, that's the jobs part of it. Gotta find a decent job that'll keep you on track. A lot of times having a job co-workers. Sometimes you get on a job and you start doing dirt with your co-workers. Oh, damn, you sell a little weed on the side, you sell a little coke on the side. Where your block at? Come through, you gotta connect. You need something? Can you give me something? Start selling to people at the job. No, it doesn't have. This is a rough one, y'all. This is a whole mess, y'all. This is a whole mess. It's crazy. Crazy. And I'm wondering why. I have more than enough internet to cover this broadcast on multiple streams. Way more than enough.
Start your show now. Press 1.
Still I rise, baby.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Ansel Jones says, teach someone about the hood and have them live there for 1 month. All right. So the next part of it is the family. The family, you know? A lot of times when you come home from jail, you coming home to your peoples. A lot of men get out of jail and they get married right away. My shorty, my queen, my wife. They come home to their girl. or their kids, or their girl and their kids, or they make new kids with their girl or their wife or whatever. And a lot of times I've heard a lot of men say, yeah, listen, man, I'm coming, I went home, I came home, I might have did a stretch, 10 years, 10, 15 years. I came home, me and my wife, we good. She held me down, or I found her when I came home, or close to the time when I came home or whatever. But so he may do it for her. He may do it for her and his seeds. That family life. He may be the type that keeps him on a straight and narrow path. She may be the aspirin to his life's headaches. She may be the Tylenol to his life's headaches. So he really depends on his woman. He really depends on his wife. She's making sure that he stays even tempered and even keeled, making sure that he don't go back to the life that he led before. Even if he was violent, she may be the one who can keep him from being violent. He needs her. So everything that he is because of her. You know what I mean? That's a lot of power for a woman. And it's not that hard for a lot of women to do. Shoot. A lot of men depend on their women without their women ever knowing that shit. Shit, even men who cheat, lie, and steal, they still depend on their woman. Y'all, I know y'all seen it. Like, how can this motherfucker say that he loved me so much when he do this shit? Hey, it is what it is. But this inmate that we're talking about, that woman may be the thing that stops him from going to jail. He don't want to be away from her ever again. So people may make him mad, or he may be, itching to get back out there in the streets. But he's like, nah, man. I promise my shorty. I promise Allah and my wife, my earth, that I wasn't going to do that. He might have to hit the masjid, keep him right. That's why I don't be mad at Muslim dudes. It is what it is. Religion aside or whatever, that might be their thing. That might be the thing that keeps them from fucking up. That might be the thing that keeps them loyal to their woman, or keeps them out of trouble, keeps them from going back. That, all right, you deaning hard, man. You on your dean hard. I ain't mad at you. If you're better in society, better for society by selling your little oils, your irregular Timberlands and Air Force Ones and T-shirts and all kinds of shit. You getting your Asian on. You do that. You do your thing. I can't knock a man's hustle if he really hustling, legal hustle, hustling legal, getting right with God, and taking care of his people. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Allah Wahid. So the family, his wife, his kids, his people are often what keeps an inmate straight, keep him right. Like, no, you not selling drugs. I don't want that money coming into this fucking house. No, baby. You ain't doing that. You ain't got to do that. You got so much talent. You got so much skills. You can do this. I'll help you. I'll work too, blah, 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 blah. You ain't gonna go back to that, because I don't, we have too much at stake to lose for you to be going back out there and doing that shit. And he might think about it like, shit, she act like she don't want to drive a pig. But at the end of the day, he knows she right. She right. I ain't even finished reporting. I'm home on parole. I got another 10 years to walk off. And here I am in my second year, and I'm talking about picking up a pack. My queen ain't having that shit. My earth ain't doing it. She said no. She said no. Hey. So the streets, the job, the family, the grave. The grave, baby. The grave. Going back to the streets, a lot of times will get you to the grave a lot faster without the process of the job and the family. And you can switch the job and the family around. Maybe it's the streets, the family, the job, the grave. I know so many people who did long stretches in jail, got in, hit the streets soon as they came home. And got killed. Things that you have to avoid when you are on parole. You got to avoid those streets. You know, if you are hanging around with a criminal element, because one of the restrictions of parole is that you are not allowed to interact with other inmates. I mean, other convicted convicts, convicted felons, whatever. They don't want you criminals or ex-criminals. Well, if you on parole, you're still a criminal to society, to the state. They don't want y'all criminals interacting with each other, cooking up schemes to go back to a life of crime. They only want you hanging around with good, law-abiding folk that ain't been caught yet. They ain't been caught yet. Ain't do nothing. Ain't do nothing. I ain't sell nothing. I ain't hold nothing. I ain't pushing nothing. I ain't steal nothing. I ain't been nowhere. I wasn't with nobody. I'm clean. Ansel Jones says, a lot of people go to funerals and say, I'll do anything to get or keep my life right. Yeah, a lot of cats do. But I've known cats, man. And that shit is so sad to me. You went to hell, because that's what I consider jail to be. You went to hell 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You come home and you're dead within a year? You dead within a year? And imagine how your peoples feel about that. Like, damn, I wish they wouldn't have fucking released him. At least when he was in jail, while he was away, we knew where he was and we knew he was safe. As safe as you can be in jail. But damn. And it just seems like such a struggle. It's such a waste of a life. Waste of a good life. It seems like such a waste of a good life. All your opportunities have been squandered.
Press 1. To hear important instructions,
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
This is crazy. Crazy. So the grave. Also, keeping it a buck, a lot of cats come home from jail and they were sick. Sometimes people come home on parole or they get released early because they were sick. But you can be sick in jail, but if you pose a danger to infecting other inmates and maybe your crimes weren't that serious, or maybe you were close to your release date anyway, all right, you want to send your ass home. Still on parole. But get your sick ass out and fuck on up out of here. Get your wheelchair bound ass fuck on up out of here. Try to get your life right. Like nobody ain't sold drugs rolling around in a wheelchair before. Anyway, it's a tough situation. See who we working with over here. See if I gotta call Comcast and get in that ass. We not doing this shit. This is the horriblest thing that has ever happened on the show. Really, this is bad. This is bad. I'm thinking about, yeah, fuck it. On the last joint, if this shit go off again, then I'm just gonna leave the blog talk side off of it.
Press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
I mean, y'all wouldn't be able to call into this shit anyway.
We are reconnecting you now.
Think about it. Y'all wouldn't be able to call. Wait a minute. It might be my internet. Because it's supposed to be way faster than that bullshit. What you gonna say? Sometimes on the first go round, it's slow. But even with that, it should still be enough to cover this. All right. But anyway, so coming home from G, friends, loved ones, without a job, a purpose in life, whatever. Many ex-convicts will take it. And we want to prevent them from utilizing that option. We really want to prevent them from utilizing that option. So what are the things that we can do in order to keep ex-convicts from returning back to the things that they did in order to make it out there? What are things that we can do on a personal level? On a personal level, what are the things that you think that you can do in order to keep our brothers and sometimes our sisters from returning to that life? Keep our brothers and sisters from returning to that life of crime, that life of perpetual what would I say? Perpetual negativity. What are some of the things that you feel like you can do? Because we can all do something. One of the things that we can do immediately that comes to my mind is offer inspiration. Offer inspiration. You know, we're all grown men and women, but that doesn't mean that we know everything. It doesn't mean that we all have the right ideas. It doesn't always mean that we can't learn a little bit more. And it doesn't mean that we can't receive help or give help. So the same way that an inmate needs resources to be able to find a job, to make sure that they have good health care, you know, things like that, in order to stay out of the welfare system, they're going to need help. So they're going to need resources. They need people who will assist them, that will help them to be able to stay right. Maybe you can help them with that. If you know someone who has a business, or if you know a business where you have a little bit of juice, you have contacts, you know somebody who works here, works there, whatever, and you know that they can get your peoples in, but why not put in a good word for them? Why not Why not look out for them? Why not make sure that you are basically there for them? You know, find out what they can do and find them a place where they can do it. I mean, it's kind of simple as that. Kinda. It's as simple as that, and it's a little bit more complicated than that as well, because one of the things that needs to be done when dealing with an ex-con is to make sure that they are ready to be reintegrated into society. Now, when you talk about being reintegrated into society, you're talking about more than just being placed into the world, onto the streets. Being integrated into society means that you have contributed to society in a positive way. That means that you are giving something. You are breathing life into the community. If you were living in a counterculture, or you were a danger to the community, then you can't be reintegrated into something that you were never integrated into in the first place. So you want to make sure that the person that you are going to advocate for is ready to make a change in their lives. You need to make sure that they are ready to be reintegrated or integrated into society. Are you ready? Are you ready to stop using drugs? Are you ready to listen to what people have to say? Are you ready? Are you ready to listen to the voice of experience and the voice of reason? Are you ready to be a better man, woman than you were before? Are you ready to take your positivity to the next level? Are you ready to stay on the path of straight and narrow? Are you ready to be better than you were before? Are you ready to make improvements consistently, not just one time? Because they may not be ready. Just keeping it a danger to society, a danger to their loved ones, a danger to their neighbors, a danger to their community, a danger to children. You might be a sex offender, to be honest with you. You know. Yeah, Emily says, I know a few that sold drugs rolling around in wheelchairs. Yeah, it happens. Ansel Jones says the coronavirus got a lot of people from jail to parole. It's someone saying they'll be back. Mm-hmm. You have to take advantage of opportunities. A lot of people don't want to take advantage of opportunities. But they're out there. You gotta take advantage of them. Make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Also says correct. A lot will go back. Sadly, for some, it's all they know. Yeah, if the streets had been all you've learned and all you know. And I mean, how can you go to jail and not be smarter than you were coming out? Listen, man, people get their bunions cut off while they in jail, you know, get their feet fixed, get their mouth fixed. I've seen plenty of buck-tooth cats, snaggle-tooth niggas get locked up. They come home with a nice little rack now. You can get some shit fixed while you in jail. And you can also get your high school diploma. You can also get a college degree. You can improve yourself. That's what the services are there for. That's what they're there for. Emily says, I know some that intentionally go back because they're looking at the fact that they're sure to get 3 meals and a bed. I heard them say that. They don't feel strong enough to be out there in the real world. If you go back to jail just for 3 hots in a cot, then you was a bum. Straight lace. You are a bum. And I mean a bum on the streets, because 3 square meals, that prison food ain't shit. Eating Chi-Chis and Little Debbie cakes and all that shit. I ain't never heard nobody Nobody brag about their meals in jail. You taking what you can get. It might not be all that bad, but like Carol said, free medical in jail. I mean the good shit. The good shit. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not the way that I would want things, but it's real. And an opportunity is an opportunity. Seize that motherfucker. Seize it. Seize it. But then, you know, I'm talking about the things that we can do in order to help people that we know come home from jail. Everybody got a brother or a cousin or an uncle or a friend or a next door neighbor, somebody they grew up with, and they fucked up, went to jail maybe multiple times, and they coming back home, and you trying to keep them right. Well, what can you do to keep them right? Give them something to read. Give them something to do. Encourage them to go back to school. You know, reunite them with their family. Maybe they are estranged from their family. Everybody don't have a home to come to when they get out of jail. They have to go to the halfway house because everybody doesn't have a baby mom or a girl that was waiting for them or will be waiting for them. Everybody don't have that. But that's one of the things about probation and parole that you actually have to have in place. That's one of the things about probation and parole that you have to have in place. They require for you to have a home to go back to that has a phone with a landline, so they can call you. Now, us being in the cell phone era now, I'm not so sure if that's the case. So they may have some type of monitoring system where they can see what towers that you are pinging off of or whatever. Some type of locator GPS thing, low jack thing on your phone. I don't know. Carol Chamberlain says, we used to get prisoners at the hospital for various diseases. The saddest is a female inmate who gives birth and goes back to jail. Born in some children have been born in jail. You know, on some Donald Goins shit, but it actually happens. Shit. And you know, we've heard some stories about chicks who was messing around with a guard in jail and they got pregnant while in jail. Like, how did that happen? Ain't nobody come to see you on the VI. We need to roll back them cameras. Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. Somebody got to quit their job. You need to get a new job, fool. But yeah, so, you know, women, and I hate to say this, y'all, but it does seem like women have more services available to them to be able to be reintegrated into society. And honestly, it's rare that a woman poses a big threat to society like a lot of men do. Not saying that none of them pose a threat to society, but they don't seem to pose, or they're not known for posing that physical threat to society that many men are known for. Carol Chamberlain says, sex for favors. You ain't never lied about that shit. Yeah. Yeah, man. So, hey. Oh, you know what? Well, I talked a little bit about it, but I don't want to forget about drugs. A lot of cats come home from jail and get on drugs. And that's the thing that can lead you to the grave or right back in jail. And you're on the streets. But don't get it fucked up, because a lot of cats get locked up and they had a drug problem going in and they get clean. And a lot of cats stay dirty or get dirtier while they locked up. There are drugs in jail. There's alcohol in jail. There's all kinds of shit. There's a special alcohol that a lot of these inmates make. They make it with orange peels and a sock. They ferment that shit some kind of crazy way. And they say that jailhouse drink is crazy. Like it can't be duplicated at home. Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me see if we can. Jailhouse liquor. Making prison style moonshine. How do you make alcohol in jail? Combine the fruit cocktail, apples, raisins, and oranges in a 1-gallon Ziploc bag and mash them up, taking care not to pop the bag. Once the fruit is beaten into a pulp, add the raw sugar and mix. Add the 16 ounces of warm water to the bag, then seal it. And that's how to make prison wine. What is jailhouse liquor called? Pruno. Pruno, or prison wine, is an alcoholic beverage variously made from apples, oranges, fruit cocktail, fruit juices, hard candy, sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and possibly other ingredients, including crumbled bread. Bread supposedly provides the yeast for the pruno to ferment. Y'all understand what I'm saying? My man, may he rest in peace. My man said that when he got sent to Graterford, he said the first day he was there, the first day, they presented him with a bottle of liquor and was like, welcome to Graterford, or some shit like that. He did a good amount of time. So, and that was back, he got locked up back in the 80s. So, with all of that being said, and he struggled with a drug problem for the rest of his life, and it ultimately killed him. But yeah, a lot of cats come home and they may be trying to stay clean. But they may have developed a drug habit while they was locked up. Now they home trying to fight that drug habit, but now they back out on the streets. They ain't ready. They ain't ready to come home, but they home. Now you got to find a way to keep them home, but they got a problem. Now you got a problem and they got a problem. What are you going to do? Suggest that they go to a rehab. The problem is if they go to a rehab and their parole agent finds out that they on drugs in the first place, he may suggest that they go back to jail because you got a urine test them. Like, well, how you been beating this urine test all this time? Certain shit happens and questions get asked and they have to be answered. Emily says, now they have phones, computer access in jail. Really, in today's time people especially guys thinking it's not as bad. If I can't do what I want, it's bad. Carol Chambers says some real scientists in jail. Yeah, everybody in jail ain't no dummy. Not everybody in jail is a dummy, and not everybody in jail is uneducated. Shoot, a lot of these cats are smart, real smart, and could have been something great in their lives, but they may not have been shown the right way before, and they shit is fucked up. Real fucked up, you know what I'm saying? So they in jail. They in jail. In jail without no bail.
Now, press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
It's just that, in jail, there are a bunch of hardened criminals, a bunch of violent guys and all of that. And I've heard a lot of prison stories, none of which ever made me want to say, yo, I think I would be okay if I went. I haven't heard no stories like that. I'm good. Niggas, you great. Niggas, you great. We ain't doing the jail thing. No. Carol Chamberlain says smart, but not smart enough. Yeah, there's an argument for that. There's an argument for that. You might just be right. I ain't trying to see the precinct or whatever, but nonetheless, you may have to suggest rehab or education, formal education, going back to school, finding jobs and opportunities. An idle mind is the devil's playground, they say. Well, you want to keep the devil at bay. We want to keep the devil at bay. Ansel Jones said, bring back Scared Straight for this generation. That shit ain't gonna work for this generation. Too much internet. These young cats nowadays know too much. They have access to too much information. Everybody knows how to do video now. They fuck around, see some Scared Straight, they be like, this shit fixed. Me and my man made a video like this. Plus, they know too many cats that have gone to jail and came home. It's a badge of honor now. It's a badge of honor now. It may have been a badge of honor back in the day, but not like it is now. Now, a lot of cats don't even respect a rapper unless he's done some jail time. Like, dumbest shit. The dumbest shit. Look how popular Tupac was after he came home from jail. So, yeah. Carol Chamberlain says, no, I don't think that would work these days. These youngins have no fear of authorities. Yeah, no, I don't know about the Scared Straight thing, but I do agree that something needs to be done, has to be done. So we'll have to figure it out for our loved ones. All right, y'all, let's get ready to get on up out of here. Let's do these birthday shout outs. And then we got the rest of the day to play. Hey. It's the daily. All right, y'all. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious August 25th and deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They are number one out the box. Go get her. Pamela Johnson Lee. Happy birthday to you, Pam. Pam. And Johnson Lee. Pamela is a regular a supporter of the Daily Go Getterism show. More so on the Facebook side, but you know, she has come by here, so good looking out. And also Kimberly Miller turning 49 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Kimberly. And Shuma Akil Jahi Watson turning 34 years old today. And Modaline Aristilde turning 34 years old today. And Shay Brown turning 41 years old today. And Oveda Consuelo turning 42 years old today. And Stephanie McIntyre. She calls me cuz. I call her cuz right back, Stephanie. Happy birthday to you, cuz. And also Melba Richburg turning 48 years old today. Happy birthday to you. And Shalisa Shills Conway. Happy birthday to you. And my man, go get a Norman Basil Anderson turning 52 years old today. And my girl Adrian Covington turning 49 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Adriana Covington. And last but not least, my man going all the way back to the 1992. My man Rashid Bethel. My man Sheed Bethel. I want to say happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all of you and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious. July 25th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing and do your thing. Y'all represent the queens and kings and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen, man. Hey, yo, son, for real. Yo, man, you know, the streets, the job, the family, the grave. These are the things that are often associated with ex-convicts coming home from jail on parole, or maybe even if they maxed out their sentences. It's only beneficial to society and to our families and communities that we make sure that these guys who have been to jail come home and are productive, constructive, and prolific in our societies. We don't need them coming home, being all messed up, having their opportunities limited, having to turn back to a life of crime and have our communities in further chaos and disarray than they already are. So if you are able to help somebody else, help out an inmate to get better, to do better, to find better, to have better, to contribute better, help them out. Utilize your resources just like if you were in trouble. If you lost a job, you would call your friends in order to help you with a job. If you needed a place to stay, you would call your family or your friends to help you get a place to stay. If you needed to make money, you will call your family and your friends in order to help you make money. If you fell on hard times, or you were unsure, if you were afraid, if you were lacking in confidence, if you needed someone to lean on, you would call your friends, family to help you out with that. So do that for somebody else. It's too important. We do not need more black men in jail. That's the last thing that we need. That's like saying we need less and less black fathers. We need more. We need more influence. So help them. Each one teach 100. Yo, I said each one teach 100. Yo, the Legacy of a Nation show will be coming on later on. Make sure y'all check it out. And we're going to be talking about what happened to the original Statue of Liberty. y'all ever see the original Statue of Liberty? It ain't like that green statue that they have out there in the Hudson. It ain't like that. No. The original Statue of Liberty was black and had chains at her feet, symbolizing America breaking the chains of slavery. Finally, that's what France gave to the United States. They have a Statue of Liberty too. If you didn't know that, now you know. So check out the Legacy of a Nation show this evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In order to check out the Legacy of a Nation, you have to call 319-527-6199 or log on blogtalkradio.com/SUN752. Yo, peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. Love is love. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. And thanks for rocking out with me this morning, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all share the show. And you know what I'm saying? I'm out of here. Y'all have a great day, my dears. Peace.